Welcome back to Piney's Kanto course! At the end of last episode, we obtained the Poker Flute and are now about to traverse downwards to Fuchsia City. But there's something that needs to be addressed first. In the first episode of this series, I specifically stated that I was playing through red, blue, and yellow. Well, it is now time I add one more game to that list, for the sake of making Pokédex completion that little bit easier. And no, it isn't Pokemon Green. Pokemon Stadium is first and foremost a port of Generation 1's Battle Engine to the Nintendo 64. However, it does do some other things. You can use it to play all of the Generation 1 titles on the big screen, unlock exclusive Pokemon, and finally, the feature I'm focusing on today, you can use it to easily transfer Pokemon between games without having to do long and arduous trades. I definitely would have done this earlier, but since I only just got my desktop PC and my laptop cannot reliably play and record 64 games at the same time, I was forced to neglect Stadium until this point. Speaking of this point, we have a lot of work to do on our Pokédex. There are encounters I've missed in a couple games now, as well as a few stone evolutions that need to be done. So before I even think about moving past Lavender Town, we're gonna get this dex under control. In Pokemon Tower, I catch myself a Haunter. That was pretty much all I needed from there. In the game corner, I exchanged the large amount of coins I have amassed for Pokemon. Those being Dratini, Scyther, and Porygon in red, Dratini, Pinsir, and Porygon in blue, Vulpix, Wigglytuff, and Porygon in yellow. Yes, I am aware that getting Porygon in all three is probably major overkill, but I don't care. In Celadon City, I buy enough evolution stones for all the Pokemon that can use them at this point, registering Flareon in yellow, Jolteon, Ninetales, and Raichu in blue, as well as evolving Valerie into Victreebel, and Vaporeon in red. Finally, heading down the route to Fuchsia City, snagging Venonat on the way in red and blue, and Snorlax in red and blue. In yellow, I accidentally knocked it out, but I evolved Vulcan into Venusaur on the way, which means I finally have all three fully evolved Kanto starters. I'd say it's a fair trade. It's time for the Safari Zone, a wondrous place indeed, in which I snag a Rhyhorn in red and blue, an Execute in red and blue, a Doduo in red, and a Dratini in yellow. If you know anything about the Generation 1 Safari Zone, you know that the rest is a slug to get through. I ended up adopting the strategy of saving in the Safari Zone and resetting until I managed to catch Kangaskhan, Chansey, and Tauros. I also fetched the Gold Teeth and the Surf HM in the final area, exchanging the Gold Teeth for the HM Strength. As of this point, I can get all the way over to Gym 7 right now if I really want to. Surf gets taught to Sand the Blastoise in red, Neptune the Nidorina in blue, and Gertrude the Gyarados in yellow. With that out of the way, it was time to fight Koga, the Poison Master. Opening with Norbert the Nidoking in red, he sends out Coughing. After enough horn attacks and body slams, it goes down. I switch into Remy the Raticate, spamming Dig to score super effective damage. Remy does get hit with Toxic, but the poison doesn't do enough damage to worry me. We keep hitting Dig up until his Wheezing. Remy goes underground for a Dig, and Wheezing uses Self-Destruct, dealing no damage to me at all. Battle 1. In blue, we open up with Barak the Golem against his Coughing, spamming Dig just like in red. We manage to one-shot each and every single one of his Pokemon, lulling me into a false sense of security for the fight to come in yellow. I open with Sandy, who we spam Dig with. This works well enough until Sandy is brought into the red with a Psybeam. I switch into Gertrude instead, managing to land one Ice Beam before getting put to sleep. An attack-boosted Double Edge brings down Gertrude, and I'm starting to get desperate. Penny the Pikachu comes out. Falling to a single Double Edge, Sandy manages to hit one last slash on that final Venonat, and then there's only Venomoth. Vulcan out first, setting Leech Seed before getting one-tapped by a Psybeam. Sandy comes out to slash at it, dealing the majority of the damage against it, but falling to Psychic. Next out is Mischief the Mankey, falling to one super effective Psychic. At this point, I had already accepted that this battle was lost. All I had left was the random Vulpix in the back of my party, and out of pure desperation, I began quick attacking like crazy. And it worked! The random Vulpix at the back of my party became an MVP, soon to be replaced, but I cherished it in the moment. After having defeated Koga, there's one thing I want to do now that I have Surf. I obtain HM Fly from the girl next to Biker's Road, teaching it to Spork the Spearow, Pepper the Pidgeotto. Oh, and now I suppose I need a flyer for my yellow team. This comes in the form of Ferengi the Farfetch'd. I then surf down to the power plant. Time for the second of 5 legendaries we're catching in Generation 1. Zapdos. We managed to catch it in all 3 games, making for a brilliant ending to the 5th episode of Piney's Kanto course. Next episode, we're going to be taking on Sabrina and searching for another legendary. I'll see you there.